Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we have got a S-Class 221 chassis which we're going to do a buyer's guide on. Obviously, as we all know, S-Class is top of the tree in the Mercedes world. These cars are really cheap to buy. I don't want to say they're really expensive to maintain, but what I will say is you can easily spend more than the value of the car fixing these things. So we're going to chuck it on the ramp, go through some common jobs, hopefully not put anyone off buying one, but this is a realistic buyer's guide. So hopefully that's not put a downer on it to begin with, but let's take you around. This is an S500 long wheelbase. This was probably 70,000, 80,000 pound new. You can probably pick them up for £5,000–6,000. You are maintaining the £80,000 car, not the £6,000 car. This is actually a really good spec car. It's actually got the night vision function on it. I mean, that must have been some gadget when this came out. I mean, what's this car? It's 18 years old or something. Before we get out of the car, obviously, if you're buying one of these, it's got a lot of gadgets on it. You know, we've got the night vision, we've got the... Shut up, you stupid parking sensor. We've got the night vision, we've got the massage seats. You know, we've got all sorts going on here. We can even control the passenger seat from the driver's side. So that is to allow extra room for your passenger in the back, because really this is a chauffeur vehicle. We've got TVs in the back. It's a lovely car. So obviously you're buying one of these, you want to play with all the gadgets, make sure everything's working. The chances of everything working are probably quite slim, but you want to make sure the majority of stuff is working. These cars are old. We used to have problems with the windows not going up and down. And I've just blinded myself. That was due to corrupt software in the door control unit. So we used to update a lot of door control units on these back in the day for inoperative windows. We've also replaced a couple of door locks on this car. Symptoms were the pin went down as though the car was locked, but you could pull the handle on the outside and the car would unlock. We've even had it where it's been complete failure and the pin won't even go up and down. Each door has its own door lock mechanism. The door locks are £500 each. Obviously you'd just replace the one that's faulty, but to give you an idea, a door lock's £500 plus VAT plus a couple of hours labour. So you'd be looking at, you know, £800 to fix one door. Gives you a good idea of what I'm trying to get out, is that when they need basic things fixing, they are expensive. Under the bonnet, we've got 273 V8. This was not as good as the older M113. Just notice that's not on there. Things like that annoy me so badly. Anyway, wasn't as good as the older M113. These used to suffer balance shaft issues, which was basically a sprocket that the chain runs off, and it used to wear out, allowing too much slack on the chain. To fix that, you had to remove the engine and basically take it apart. That is probably the main issue that these have, I'll say.
Another issue.
Another issue with this engine, 273 and 272 engine, was the cam adjuster magnets on the front of the engine. They actually were known for failing and leaking oil. We've covered that a little bit in SPR Weekly episode 1 on a V6 version of this engine. There's some caps that go in the back of the cylinder head that are also known for oil leaks on this engine and the V6. And there's a breather box as well, which goes down the other side, which is common for oil leaks. In fact, we've just replaced this one on the service. It's quite an inexpensive fix, but it's worth noting if you're getting an oil leak from the top of the engine down the back. All these cars come equipped with either Airmatic suspension or ABC hydraulic suspension. Both systems work really well. They can go faulty and they can be really expensive. Struts are common for failing on either Airmatic or hydraulic. Pumps are common, again, hydraulic, which is a massive tandem pump, or Airmatic, which is a separate air pump. All common, all quite expensive. It's great when it's working. When it breaks, it can be costly. However, that's the price of luxury. It makes the car drive really good. Some people take it off and convert it to like shocks and springs. Personally, I prefer to keep it original, but I know a lot of guys out there doing stuff like that now. Front of the car, I kind of say this on every video, all the suspension arms are common for failing. It's a multi-link suspension. The ball joints are going to wear out. It is what it is. There's a bit of play in this one. Just had a quick check over the car. So you can't replace that one ball joint, you've got to replace the full arm. The arms are £300 each, plus fitting, plus VAT. So, you know, you'd only need a couple of them on an MOT or with your service, and, you know, your bill's got to be, you could go in for 300-400 quid B service, plus 2 suspension arms, plus VAT, plus labour, plus tracking, and all of a sudden your bill's 1,500 quid. So that's something to bear in mind. We have got a bit of play in this one, in which we're going to get done. I've actually put 4 brand new Airmatic struts on this car within the guy's ownership at a cost of about £1,500 each. So in the 4 shockers alone is probably the car's value, and he has had all 4 on this, but he really looks after it. Gearbox, 7-speed gearbox. We've done a video on this. Main issue there is the conductor plate inside the gearbox. We replace it with a brand new one, program it to the car. We did a video of doing one and we had a bit of a nightmare with it actually, but that's the main issue there. So these are equipped with an electronic handbrake. I think it was one of the first Mercs to have them actually. The motors are quite common for failing on them. They're not cheap. In the UK, they're £750 plus the VAT, so you may as well call that £1,000. So £1,000 to fix your handbrake. This car in its ownership has had one because we have fitted one on it. This guy has definitely exceeded value of the car in maintenance. I mean, that is without service bills, you know, 4 struts, handbrake motor. Like I say, they're pretty good until they go wrong, but it's cheap luxury, isn't it? So to give you an idea on costs for what front discs and pads would cost you, set of pads, 100 quid, discs are 100 quid a side, 300 quid in parts, plus VAT, plus labour, so you know what you're looking at there, 400-500 quid for front discs and pads. It's not as bad as AMG, but... So to be fair, not much goes wrong with these, but maintenance alone can be expensive. So maybe this video's like not a buyer's guide, more of like what to expect to spend guide. Because obviously if you've got an S-Class, you've got to want it tip top. The technology on it, you're buying it for the technology and you've got to want it to work. I feel like it's just not a great video. Usually I'm pulling them to bits, but they're all right. If it was a diesel S-Class with the 642 engine in it, it's a bit of a completely different story. We've done common faults on the V6 diesel. We'll link that in the description so you can check that out. So if you've got an S-Class with a V6 diesel, same rules apply, but with that other video. Another common one that we've done quite a bit of over the years is the blower motor, which is under the dashboard. Blower motor and regulator, we've had quite a lot of them fail. That would set you back about £1,000. So if your blower motor packs in, you're looking at about £1,000 to get that back up and running. This is using all genuine parts, by the way. A lot of people say, oh, well, you don't have to do that, and you can do this and you can do that, but that's what it is. We have just been in the office, and I thought, let's have a look how much the customer's spent with me on the car. I've been looking after this car since 2016. That's as far as my records go back. In fact, what year is this car?
It's a 55 plate, so about 10-year-old it started coming here.
Right, okay. With me alone, no other garages included, I can't tell you how hard it is to do these videos in a working garage. It's really difficult. Anyway, car's been coming to me since 2016. The total cost he's spent with me in service and repairs, every bill that he's ever paid, is £17,325 since 2016. So when I say these cars are expensive to look after, I mean it. Couple of the previous buyer's guides we've done, a few people have said, oh, you've not mentioned this or you've not mentioned that. I can't remember everything. Rather than say you've not done this, just add value to the content by saying also this and this, or I've experienced this and that, because it'll help other people out. But that's a general buyer's guide. Running costs of a 221 S-Class, £17,325. This customer also has a CL500 as well, and I look after both cars and have done for a very long time. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.